It's inappropriate how much I cry over technology. The other day, my mixer wasn't working. I was like at my home studio and like literally just staring at it. I'm like, it's not working. It's just, and then like Fernando, who I record my other podcast with, is just staring at it. And like, I'm just like, you know what? I guess we don't have a podcast anymore. He's just like, no. We're going to go to get it fixed.
No podcast anymore, and for the future. I know, it's so frustrating. That's one thing that I like about my radio show. There's no...
Yeah, you just show up
the first bit, the theme song,
yeah,
and then the end, and it takes 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's nicely, even though you said the mics aren't the best, but it's nicely set up. I've been there. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a cool... It's
2 out of
it's
3.
a cool vibe.
66% of the mics are pretty good. So that's a pass.
Fine.
It's a passing grade.
All right, let's get this going. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I don't think so.
We're just gonna yap. We're just gonna yap.
Yeah. Hey, I hope I'm like a nervous guy. I hope it's all right.
I mean, I'm such a nervous person. I don't know. I'm not chill in any way.
Well, I saw this is episode 18 or something. How many have you
No,
done?
this is episode...
More.
This is going to be part of season 3. So this is season 3, episode 5. I've had, including the live episodes of House of Stone, I have you're like almost 40, episode 40. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have gotten into a group just personally?
Yes, I love podcasting for sure. There's definitely some episodes that I'm like, that could have been a lot better. even after 40 episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
And including episodes of other podcasts. There's now I've been 60 plus episodes. And it's just sometimes your mood is just takes over.
Yes. I find that the hardest part. I'm even stand up too. I'm just so moody. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, if this was only yesterday. I was so happy yesterday. Now I'm miserable.
Just I wish this was yesterday. I wish I could just move my right now to yesterday. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I can turn it off, just pep myself up. But then, other times it's just when I re-listen to it, I'm like, yeah, that I could not hide that I was anxious and depressed
for the day. Yeah, I know. Well, this helps.
I know. I don't know what I would do without caffeine. And this is actually, let's just get it started. Welcome to House of Stone, the podcast where everyone has a story and we get into the nitty gritty of it all. We've already started. I don't know why I just didn't do the introduction 5 minutes ago. Yeah, like I was saying, sometimes my mood just gets in the way, and that's okay. But you know what? Sometimes that's real. People like realness. You know what I mean? Unless you don't want to show the real you, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty open and honest, so I forgive myself when I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Everyone's allowed to have a bad day.
I feel like some people, I have friends who are very funny when they're kind of angry or when they're and I feel like I'm not so entertaining when I'm in a bad mood. I'm just a little quieter and slower.
Yeah.
I wish, there's people who, you get them angry and
they're
on
funny.
a bad day and they're very funny.
For sure.
I don't think I'm that person.
Yeah, my best friend Fernando's like that. He just goes on rants and they're hilarious. Where when I'm angry, I feel like I'm catatonic.
Exactly. Me too.
I just stare into a wall and I'm so internal about everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's a lot of going, no. I'm not going to rant. You know what I'm saying.
But that's okay too.
And not today. By the way, I'm feeling great today.
You're feeling good today. That's good. I mean, you could be lying to me and that's fine.
Go on.
We are recording before noon, which I usually don't record in the morning, which has been a different feeling driving here today.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I'm trying not to look at myself. Do I look puffy? How are my eyes?
You look great. You look great.
As do you.
Do you do any maintenance, rolling or cream or no?
That's a great question. No, I don't.
No, just zero.
I'm gonna say zero. Yeah.
Do you wash your face with any sort of product?
Not my face only. I wash
I'm not
my face.
trying to shame you.
No,
but
I love it.
I'm just very curious, like what people do with that.
I mean, I shower and I get the whole body, and then no, I would say I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I've never washed only my face, unless there was like something dirty on my face. No, I don't moisturize.
Good.
I used to have a big beard, so that made it a little harder. You could only wash the top of the cheeks and the forehead.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna say I have I'm sorry to brag, pretty good skin.
You do have great skin.
I've never had too many outbreaks, and I kind of leave it alone.
Okay, well that's good. If it ain't broke.
It might be a little broke, but I can't be fixed with.
So is it like a bar of soap for the entire body skin, the one product?
I think if I'm honest, right now it's Old Spice 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and body wash.
Absolutely not.
I smell good though.
I started this with I wasn't gonna shame you, but like Old Spice. Can we move? As a whole, society, I'm talking to everyone on the earth. Let's move away from Old Spice. It's been around for.
Can we agree it's
50
better?
years.
It's better than Axe.
Yes. Axe
I would never do Axe.
Axe
shampoo.
is a teenage just mistake.
And then like a new flavor comes out or a new scent, and you smell like, oh, it just smells like Axe. It smells like all the other Axes with like a little bit more vanilla or something.
Oh, for sure.
I find I like Old Spice.
I like Old Spice.
Speed
I
stick?
just feel like the product isn't probably not very good for your skin because it's like. It's like the chemicals in it. Like, I just feel like we should be thinking more about, like, I just don't trust that it doesn't have like toxic chemicals in it.
Yes, I'm sure it does. You're absolutely right.
But it is affordable. It does smell good. People use it. They have no issues with it. So who am I to judge?
And I will say I'm not particularly brand loyal. So if one day Herbal Essences is on special, I'll switch over.
Okay.
I'm not like in love with Old Spice. My Old Spice 3-in-1. But
you're not that dedicated.
No.
Well, a bottle of Old Spice.
Pretty good right now, I think. So I gotta give it to him.
It is a classic spell. It definitely is. A bottle of Old Spice. How expensive is that? How?
I'm gonna say it was probably $2.99 for a big bottle too.
Love that.
Thank you.
I
was given some soap from friends. So every so often I'll do the bar. I'll switch it up.
Yeah. Do you love a good soap as a gift?
Not especially, but you know what I do love as a gift that I'm realizing is like an old, not to be rude, kind of a strange gift for a 30-something-year-old man. Candles. God, I love candles.
Fuck me up with a candle.
I just want, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll buy a candle, and they're a big, those jars of candles. They're like $30 or something.
They're so expensive.
And then anytime I get a candle as a gift, little small ones, big ones, I love them.
Yeah. What I found with age, I appreciate those types of gifts a lot more because I go out and buy myself a candle as a treat. I'm like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. It's a Sunday. Let's go to Bath and Body Works, spend $20 on a candle, and make myself happy. And if someone buys me that gift, I'm fucking thrilled for like a week and a half.
Thrilled. And it just, I find sometimes like genuinely, because I'm also an incense man too.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes a little too strong, I
walk in. That's the
like,
first time I've ever heard someone call it e-sense.
Oh, I think I tried to say incense. But I probably I'm gonna get a lot of words wrong as this goes on.
It's fine.
But sometimes
I was
too
like,
strong.
am I saying it wrong? Have I been saying it wrong my entire life?
No, in and out sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes, too strong. A candle's much more subtle. And the flavors are a little different. It's more fruity,
There's
like a candle.
Seasonal candles to like choose from depending on like there's pumpkin spice in the fall.
Oh, absolutely.
Apple pie.
See, I'm not the biggest apple pie candle fan, but I was going to say a pine at Christmas time. I love that.
Love it so much. Is this the most boring podcast in the world? No, it's not.
I don't think so. People love candles.
People love candles. This is going to be even more boring. Another gift that I like, a good pair of socks. If someone, like my mom still to this day, will make a stocking for me for Christmas.
me too.
Stocking and a few gifts, and she'll add them under the tree. And now she's expanded. She gets Mike some stuff, so my tree has stuff on it. But before it was just sad. There was nothing. So she fills it up with stuff. And there's always, like, without question, there's always some sort of snack, like a chocolate and a new pair of socks, and also dental floss. All
Useful. Yeah, my mom recently tried to get rid of the stockings. You guys are old enough. And I said, no, they will continue.
Absolutely not. What is wrong with you,
We get
Mom?
her a stocking now.
Yes.
Fill it with candles and bath stuff and moisturizer.
Yeah.
And now my sister has kids.
Yeah.
So there's just stockings over the generations.
Yeah, she can't
I'm a big
stop.
stocking guy.
She can't. I've had the same stocking since I was like a child.
Me too.
Yeah.
That my grandmother made herself. And it has my name on it. And I think, if I remember, I only see it once a year. So I don't have a great memory.
Yeah.
I think there's a raccoon on mine.
There's
a raccoon with like a sweater and a Christmas hat.
Made it?
And she made it herself.
Do you know why she chose raccoon?
No, I don't. I think I was probably 2 years old, so maybe I had circles under my eyes as a kid even. No, I don't know why.
That's awesome. Well, this is Daniel Carin. We haven't introduced you. Enough about stocking socks and candles. Daniel
Good smells, bad smells.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Carin, welcome to House of Stone.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
It's a pleasure.
It's a privilege.
Yes.
Your turn.
Yes.
How many words can we go back and forth?
We would just go back and forth for like I'm so happy to have you here. It's been forever since I've wanted you on, and I don't know why it's taken me so long. I apologize for that.
Oh my gosh, that's very kind of you.
I mean,
I've seen your lineup of guests. It's a good lineup. Good bunch of guests.
I try. But you should have been earlier. Some people get really mad that they like when I get them on, they're like, how come it's been so fucking long since you've asked? I'm just like, hey, you're here now.
Exactly.
Would you like to get out?
No, I'm the opposite. It's an honor to be here. Season
Absolutely.
3.
Pardon?
Season 3.
Season 3?
I love season 3.
ManyVids studio. Look at this. Look at this.
That on-air sign should be on. Click, click. I'll turn it on later.
I mean, they can see it. It kind of looks lit up from the camera with lights. It's fine. It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah. I do have a little introduction for you for the people that don't know you that are listening. Daniel Carin, is one of my favorite comedians to watch on stage. You just spit up.
I just couldn't believe that compliment. Oh my God. That's
Why?
So kind of
Okay. It's true though. He has a unique, witty, short structured joke style that makes me laugh no matter how often I've heard the joke, which is a rare gem. He has been part of Just for Laughs many times. He's also been part of the Off-JFL Zoo Fest Discovery series in 2021, I believe, or 2022.
I think 2020.
Yes, yeah. I was there. I was in the audience. It was the same year as like Elspeth and Walter. And
Trana. It was a good year.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic, so it was like an odd, like we were all spaced out, but it was a good vibe.
Yes.
You guys all did very, very well. I was very proud of all of you.
Thank you.
He's recently made his way to the Sketch Festival in San Francisco, right? It's there that you were there with Chris Stanaford. And lastly, he has a weekly radio show turned into a podcast called Advice by the Fireplace on CJLO that was recently named CultMTL's favorite radio show.
That's true.
Oh my God.
How did that happen?
Look at you. Look at you. You're killing it.
Well, thank you. I've told you, my theory is every comedian went on and filled out best comedian themselves.
Yes.
And then they had to fill out more.
There's many questions on there.
So I think I'm the only radio show that a bunch of these people have heard of. So I got voted in and I got number one.
Absolutely.
I'll take it.
I don't think that's true. I think it's because it's really fun. It's unique. I don't know.
It is. I do appreciate that. I do think, it doesn't sound like too many other shows, especially on CJLO.
No, definitely not. I have to be honest. I didn't fill out the CultMTL. I have in the past. I'm just like, you know what? It's fine.
It does take a long time. And to me, it's like I don't have a new food trend I want to vote for. Oh, the best Portuguese. It's the same as last year.
You
I
can
don't know.
skip as many questions as you want.
You have to do at least 25, I think.
Do you?
Or something. There's a minimum.
Really?
Because I went
feel
to
like
just
that's
Daniel and
changed
then
because
Send
I
and
used
then...
to just go and just fill out like Abby.
Yeah, I think they don't want people to do that anymore.
Makes sense for sure. I always have even though we've been started for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. I always have a beginning question, a prompt question, and this is in theme of your radio show.
Whoa.
What is one of the worst advice you've been ever given? Can you think of one?
Not in regards to radio, just in general in life.
Just in general, friends and family.
Wow.
Or just maybe a cliche advice that is just like spread around. And now, upon reflection, now that you're older,
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't think people give me too much advice.
What do you mean?
I think they just
Because
think
you're
I'm
killing it all day long, Daniel.
I think they think I can't be helped. They just go on deaf ears. But I've definitely gotten... I don't even know. Or maybe I don't listen to people.
I can
feel
start.
like I'm encouraged to party more than and I like, hey, look, we all like a bit of party.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've been shamed for not wanting to do hard drugs and this and that.
I feel like I'm still shamed. Like to this day. I'm a 35-year-old. And this could be because of the people, not to shame people that we hang out with.
We know some dirtbags.
We know some degens. We love a lot of people,
and they're lovely
and a lot of them are degenerates.
Yeah.
And I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll just be like a random Tuesday, and they're dropping shrooms or dropping Molly, and they're like, "Hey, you want some?" I'm like, I feel like this.
Yeah.
Is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And
to be fair, no one's ever been like, come on, you loser.
Yeah.
But part of me does feel like they want me to do these drugs.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I feel that too.
And I do even do drugs sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that came to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like, I don't know, it's just my own like wanting to like be a people pleaser and like, I don't want, like, there's FOMO involved, like, fear of missing out.
Oh, yeah.
But I do, honestly, though, like, I've moved on from that now that I guess with time, I'm just like, you know what? I shouldn't feel bad for not wanting to engage in that.
Yes.
One, I'm an introvert. One, don't really love any of the stuff. Like, I've tried to, obviously, I'm 35 years old. I've lived a life. There's been things that I've consumed or happened in my life. And, you know, never that much fun.
Moments of fun, and then I have things to do tomorrow that I do badly because I'm like hungover and confused.
Oh yeah. I always like I don't know. That's like part of my anxiety though around like partaking in that. Like I have a lot of anxiety about everything, but I'm always like, but what if something happens tomorrow? What if I have to like it'll just ruin my day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
my landlord will do a random spot check and I'm in bed. I know, or anything could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Or I'll be like, oh, but I have something that I have to be at like 2 p.m. What if I'm in a bad mood? Like, so what if I'm in a bad mood? What if I'm tired? But I'm just like, no, I don't want to ruin my day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll get into like a spiral about that, which most people would say that's responsible. But then, you know, I miss out on some stuff.
Can I say I very much relate to that. I was going to say, like, not only would people say that's how you miss out, I feel like people would say, well, show up in a bad mood to things. You know what I mean? Do it.
That's bad advice.
And I feel like, I can't do that either.
You're just ruining,
I have to prepare for the world in a way.
Yeah.
And I can't if I'm all weirded out, messed up. I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't want to show up somewhere like, hi, don't mind me, put my glasses on and be tweaky.
100%. If I have to like, if any sort of like drinking or drugs are being planned,
in your calendar?
I literally will not plan something for the next 2 days after.
Yeah.
Just in case.
It's smart. It's responsible.
It is, or it's very rigid. It is not.
Yeah, 2 days is maybe 1 day.
One day is enough. One day is
well,
enough.
depends how hard you go.
Depends on how hard. I haven't gone hard in a very long time.
Yeah, me neither.
No, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
and we're
like
the same age too, roughly.
35.
I'm 34.
Okay.
So look, we've had our time.
We've
Now
had
we
our
sit in comfortable chairs and we talk.
Yeah, exactly. I love a good armchair. This is all I want.
You know, I have to say, I'm just changing the show. I think my sister has the exact same chair at her house.
I feel like this is an IKEA chair that was very well made and has been passed on through Facebook Marketplace for many, many years. And they hold up for it, which IKEA sometimes doesn't hold up, I gotta say.
I think
and these are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortable too. I like them. I like the color a lot.
Put my foot on this footstool. Oops, sorry. Go on. Now I'm comfy.
Really, we're going to push it forward.
I'll just block the camera. Perfect. Okay. By the way, also coming in here today, I don't want to spoil our location.
Yeah.
But there was a sort of security man. He complimented my shoes. And I said, "Thank you so much, sir."
That's so nice. They are great shoes. They're like leather-looking Converses.
Can I tell you? $3 secondhand, $1.50 a shoe. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I love a good thrift find.
Oh, that's like 90% of my shopping is thrifts.
I love thrifting.
Me
I also
too.
do like clothes swap with like my friends.
Oh.
And because like there's a few of us that are very similar sizes, and one of them, she knows who she is. She is a shopaholic, and she'll literally show up with bags of stuff that have never been worn, has tags on them still,
right.
and they're great. She just never put them on her body after she purchased them, and I get to benefit from them.
Put them on your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I don't do clothes swaps. I'm too self-conscious. Pit stains, and nobody wants to wear pants after I wore them. But ideally, that would be good. Yeah. Maybe a hat swap. I would do a hat swap.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a bunch of hats.
That's nice. But like, to be honest, it's not fair. I'm not reciprocating as fairly as they are like giving, because like some of the stuff because I will keep and wear clothes for years.
Oh yeah.
For years.
Until they're literally falling off.
Yeah. So like, I want to get rid of this, but like no one should put this on their body ever, because it's like I feel like it's a hazard or something. So, but I get the benefit from other people.
And just to prove to you that I shouldn't do any swaps, I'm wearing one of my secondary hats right now, because my favorite hat, I'm not going to lie, it was late night. I was smoking a marijuana cigarette.
Okay.
And I thought, where's my I was near my windowsill. I think I moved my ashtray somewhere else. So I ashed into my hat.
You
I did.
You made that decision?
Made the decision. I was either on the ground or actually get up. But no, I couldn't do that. So I did. I ashed in my hat, the entire thing. I even put it out in the hat. And I thought, well, I guess I'll...
out in the hat, Dan?
It was mostly out. But I didn't burn the hat or anything. But I think I ended up putting it out in the hat.
Did you
and now
ruin
I
your
have
favorite
to...
hat?
No, but it's in the washing machine. The wash.
In the washing.
Does anyone say the washing?
Machine.
Yeah, so that's a sad realization that I did that.
That is a choice. Like, either ash in this hat and cause a problem and chores for me later, or get up.
That's true. I was so comfortable. I have such a nice windowsill. Maybe my cat was on my lap. I don't think that's true, but it makes it better that I didn't get up.
No, I get it. There are some, like, I hate myself for saying this, but there is, like, now that I live with my boyfriend, I make him go do things for me or fetch things for me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, I am so comfortable. If I have to move 1 inch of my body, I will probably destroy everything in sight. I would be so angry if I had to move.
Absolutely. And also, look, that's what having a partner is for. You get each other things. It's nice.
Yes, it's nice. But I feel like I feel guilty about it after the fact. I'm just like, you know what? I should not be such a lazy piece of crap.
After you get up and you're like, that wasn't so hard. Maybe I could have done that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. But he one of his like love languages is like acts of service. I mean, we all have all the love languages because we're very needy and like codependent. But like he does like going to do things for me. Even like little tiny. I'm like, can you fill my glass of water? Can you go get a little snacky snack?
It'll prove that you love me. That's the subtext.
I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that.
Well, look, you get something for him every so often, then it's even. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I do. Yeah. He doesn't feel neglected. That's for sure.
That's good.
I hope not. Another advice that I've gotten, and I guess is in the theme of like dating or a partner, like playing hard to get. That was like play hard to get. When you're in the dating scene, play hard to get, and then the person will like you more or be more intrigued. That's terrible advice. Is it not?
To me, yes, but I don't know. Everyone's so different. I feel like that definitely would work for some weird dudes out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are the dudes you would maybe want to attract, or one would want to attract. Yeah, there's something to that, unfortunately.
Really?
I don't think I play hard to get. I think if you were to ask me, I don't think I would want to see that in life, but I'm sure subconsciously the push and pull of
it just seems a little bit toxic, a little bit like not genuine. Because like I've tried to play hard to get and I've not done it well. It's like yeah, that's fine, like it's aloof, but like when internally I'm just like I want your attention. I want you to like message me. I want you to like.
I guess the opposite is like easy to get. That's not the worst.
Which maybe is not the best.
I don't know. I'm definitely. I don't think there's a way to do it. Everyone's so goddamn different, and you're definitely going to attract people no matter how weird you act.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not anyone, but
there's a weirdo for every weirdo out there.
I think so, genuinely.
Oh, absolutely. It just takes some time. Like the first boyfriend I've ever had, I was like 33 years old. So like it just takes time. The rest were just, just fill in the time. It was just fun. But I wasn't really good at the dating and like getting advice. I got a lot of advice over the years. And that was one that stood out. Just like, why is this such a prevalent advice? Just play hard to get, be cool, chill. Just not a chill person. I just want to act like myself.
And the rules of you can't do that before this date, and you have to wait. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I don't really subscribe to too much of that.
That's good.
But also I'm not a very good dater, so I don't know. I'm sure people I think are very good at dating, and
there are some people that are very good at dating,
and I find that scary. I don't know how people do that.
They're just so chill and like having fun, and maybe like from the outside.
Yeah, that's true. Could be chaos.
Yeah, it could be chaos internally. But yeah, no, I've never been good at it. Never.
No, me neither.
I also had like very low standards, which I know is not a great thing to say about myself, but I'm just like, oh, this person is talking to me. That's enough for me to like commit months of my life.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know what you mean. And also like, I don't know. I feel like, not to get too serious, but I feel things hit me so hard. I'm just so, I wouldn't say I'm the most stable, not that I'm unstable, but I just get rocked so hard. When people are in relationships and it ends, they go, well, it didn't work out, and then, but I have a date this Tuesday. Yeah. It's like they take me so long to get over these things, even short relationships. I'm so I can't even finish the sentence.
You can't even describe. You're checking your pulse.
No, it takes me a long time. It takes a lot out of me, relationships.
That's okay.
And the good ones are great, and I've had a lot of wonderful times. But
I'm definitely more on like the sensitive side, so it does take me a minute to even if it's like a situationship and like it's ended, like I am very emotional about it. I need to go through the stages of getting over it, and then afterwards I'm like, oh, it's chill. I never think about this person ever again.
Right.
But like it does take me more time than some people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine.
I agree, except for the fact when you said you never think about them again. I feel like it's a constant Rolodex of everyone who's seen me naked.
But
I go, oh, geez, I
honestly, like, I'm not proud of this fact. Like, I'm not proud of it. I don't remember a lot of people's names that have seen me naked. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I said I'm embarrassed, but like, no.
No, that's cool.
And like, I'll go through like my phone contacts, and like that's a walk down memory lane. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
And Yeah, there's some people that like, stand out and I'll remember.
Of course.
But there's a lot of them that, no. There's this one guy that my building manager is named Gene, and I dated a dude for like 2 months named Jean. And they're spelled the same. And for some reason, my phone saved both those numbers under the same contact.
Oh my God.
So
Right.
I was texting Jean when I wanted to text Jean. I was like, hey, like, can you come fix the sink? I doubt that he saved my number. Maybe. He never responded. He was just like, who's this weirdo? But if he did save my number, that's wild. That he's like... That's
true. It's better, though, than the opposite if you're texting your landlord, like, hey, you up? Let's rekindle.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Want to come over, baby?
Yeah.
I wanted to get into a little bit about your comedy.
Whoa, sure.
Whoa.
Sure.
We've already been at it for a while, and I usually talk to the guests about their comedy because most of my guests are comedians. When did you start comedy?
It's so upsetting because it's a long time ago now. Because we're old. I'm old. I think the first year that I would say I started doing comedy, like I think the first stand-up set I ever did was like a few days after I turned 18 when I could go into a bar. And I did 5 minutes and I got very scared and I didn't do it again for like a year. And I think that process happened a few times.
Okay.
And then in 2012 is when I would say
you started. You got into it. Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
18 years old. What inspired you to get on stage?
Just being such a fan of comedy. Always. I think literally as far back as I can remember, I was just so into every... Stand-up was even a little bit less. I just loved any form of sitcom and comedy movie. And, and also my mom would take me to see Just for Laughs when I was probably too young. And
really?
I was, yeah.
Do you remember like one of the first people you saw on stage at Just for Laughs?
Drew Carey, one of my heroes.
Are you serious?
And he was very dirty, and my mom almost thought she shouldn't have brought me, but it was great. He
was dirty at one point?
He was incredibly dirty.
Really?
It was all just jokes about his giant dick.
Okay.
He wrote a book called Dick Jokes and Beer or something like that.
Okay.
And a section was 101 big dick jokes. So it was just
hilarious.
My dick is so... And then he had an audio book, and then you could just read
an audio book?
And he could just do 101. You just hear him say, my dick is so big, and then some random thing 101 times. But I was a big fan of that. Tim Allen, I remember seeing as a young man.
Oh, my God.
A young boy.
Wow.
And then in retrospect, it's like, because it was those galas.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, it's like, I wonder who else I ended up seeing that I didn't remember.
Probably so many of that. Yeah.
But I just
at those
Tim
Just
Allen.
for Laughs shows, there's so many big names that you see, like one at like a 6-person lineup.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. When I reflect on my like experience at Just for Laughs, there's some shows that I saw like Tom Segura at a small like little venue.
Oh yeah.
And like it's just crazy some of the people that you see. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so your parents must have been like fans of stand-up comedy as well if they're bringing you.
Absolutely. Yeah, my mom, I'd say, not my dad, but my mom more so. Her and her friends would go see some other JFL show and she would bring me to one. And yeah, she was definitely very encouraging of that.
Were you always like a silly person? Is that why like...
I think so. I mean, the balance of silly and also a weird, sensitive boy. But yeah, always... I think my family dealt with me by trying to distract me and make me laugh.
Okay.
And
that's a good
my mom
thing.
would tell me that. And then, now it's just so a part of me. Like, I don't even think it's not to be obnoxious about it.
Oh my God, please, this is the place.
But it's like, I don't try to be funny too often. I just am so uncomfortable. It's my natural way of dealing with the world, I think. And I don't think I am, humorous.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't find me funny at all.
That's not true. I feel like a lot of people find you
I'll
funny.
give you a list of a lot of people who don't
really?
find me funny.
People actually have said like, no, not for me.
Well, I see it in the faces and the reactions. But no, I just love, it's just so intrinsically, I think, a part of me. Comedy, being funny, jokes. I love it so much.
Yeah. So in 2012, what was the thing that was like, okay, I'm gonna start this like more like be committed to this?
It's an interesting story. Let me cross my legs.
Here, let's get into it.
I was in cinema and communications at Dawson.
Nice.
And also doing like sort of plays and
so performance arts.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then my girlfriend at the time and she was a bit more of a playwright, and we kind of randomly wanted to have a play at the Montreal Fringe.
Okay.
So we applied and we got in.
Shit.
And then we broke up, and she did not want to take part in that thing anymore. So it was just me.
Like right before Fringe, or did you have
signed
time?
up for the early bird?
Okay.
So we got it, and then a little while later broke up, and she was like, I don't want to do that thing.
So it was just you, though. Okay.
And then I had just become co-workers and friends with Chris Stanaford.
Okay.
Who we just started doing open mics a little bit. And in retrospect, it's insane. But I was like, hey, would you do this hour-long show with me?
It is kind of in like,
and
you're new to comedy and you're doing like an hour with someone.
It ended up being sketch, much more sketch. There was sort of, it was called Try a Variety Show, and the idea was that we would put on the greatest variety show of all time, but we were new to comedy. We didn't have any props or sets or anything, and it was this very bare bones,
maybe
bit
that's
heavy
good.
thing, and it went again, in retrospect, so much better than it should have and it could have. And that got the ball going. We met a lot of people through the Fringe, and people would just doing open mics would come to the thing, and it was very encouraging. That's definitely how the whole thing started.
That's so
rolling.
That's so cool. And I love how that was like how you and Chris' relationship started. It's such like a big dynamic thing, and now here you are. You guys are still working together.
Absolutely. A decade later.
And you guys are like best friends, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not living in the same city. He lives in Toronto. He travels a lot, but we text, and also I'm going to speak for him. I think I can say it's just it's never more fun than with Chris.
Yeah.
For some reason, I do find him to be my favorite comedian.
He's very, very funny and
a maniac, and to be able to, like, one of my favorite things is getting on stage and then he says something crazy, and then my job is to back him up and go, yeah, that's right, what he said. That's an insane thing.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. I've had the time of my life working with him, and solo stand-up is so fun, and doing improv with other people is so fun. But the two of us together, I think, is...
So you've had many different like projects that you've done with him. You've there's that one, Fringe, which I didn't know about, but then there was something at Just for Laughs a few years ago as well. What was that? It was...
We've had a few things at Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
We're a sketch troupe, basically. Ladies and Gentlemen's our name. And so we've done a bunch of sketch festivals. For a while, we were trying to really travel around. We've been to some very cool cities and random small little festivals. And then that JFL one, I think the most recent one, that was just kind of like, it's what we've been doing now, which is harder to get together and write these dense, because at one point we were living together, and we wrote this show that I'm very proud of, that both of us are proud of, I think, called Boat Day, which was just about this fictional town celebrating this fictional holiday called Boat Day and how it affected every member of the town. And it was like a 25-minute thing, and we played like 50 characters and just weaving in and out, and that's very hard to do these days.
That's so dynamic and like...
Yeah, and we wrote it in a couple of days, and so proud of it.
Awesome.
But that's really hard because, it just takes so much remembering who does, and just, of course, all the stuff. So now it's a bit of, we mix improv, and we, like that JFL show, definitely we probably had 10 minutes of stand-up each. Yeah. And then a few bits we've done before, a few that we've never done before, and then... we have 6 minutes. Hey, Chris, what's new? And then, geez. And then squeeze some laughs any way we can.
Yeah. And most recently you went to San Francisco.
Which we've been to before a long time ago. It was our second time there, which is, I think, no shade to any other festival, the best festival for performers.
Oh, that's amazing.
So fun to be there. I love the city of San Francisco, and there's just so many shows to see. Like even last time, I was there for much shorter this time, but just getting to see literally like all my favorite comedians in a festival that I have the same pass as them.
Yeah,
It was just such a mind trip and so fun.
I feel that way with like Just for Laughs comes around. It's just like there's so many like amazing people around, and it's in our own city.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
look
it's
forward
insane.
to like going to other festivals and experiencing the same thing. Like I'm going to LA in a couple weeks and to Laugh Riot, and it's a smaller festival. It's not like
Sure.
that one like in San Francisco, but I'm so pumped to meet like
Oh yeah.
because when you're in Montreal and like you see the same people every day. I mean, you work at the Comedy Nest, you see the same people every day.
Sure. Yes, I do.
You're just like, yeah, I need to expand a little bit. Like, let's see some new faces, which is really, really fun. So I look forward
And
to
just
that.
traveling in general is I love.
Yes.
And then the excuse of getting to perform while you're
Yeah.
traveling is so fun. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to go to San Francisco just to be there.
Yeah.
And then go, these 2 nights we get to perform. Yeah, it's like the best.
Absolutely. That's so cool. So you do stand up, you do sketch, you do improv, what would you say your favorite thing to do is?
It's not stand up, I'll tell you that.
No?
No, I like stand up, but no, it's I'm realizing the older I get, I like collaboration.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to just hear me.
Yeah.
It's fun getting different voices together. I'm really enjoying my radio show these days.
Love your radio
I find it really fun. And improv I find still scary. I haven't gotten over the fear of
just going blank, maybe?
Oh no, that's normal.
Yeah.
No, it's more like ruining it for other people. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's like a troop of 6, and then I fuck up, and then everyone's like, "Well, that wasn't good because of Daniel's fuck
It is
up."
like
It stresses
there's
me
a
out.
lot of pressure for improv, and like I have never been able to like get over that fear. You
Absolutely.
know, took like an intro class once, like the free one, like, and I was just like, I would love to continue. I feel like I would have so much fun, but like this, just like there's something in me that's like stopping me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think out of all those art forms, the highest highs, I would say maybe is improv. I've seen improv that was like, I'm going to use the word magical.
100%.
Whoa, that
it could be so magical.
I couldn't write something better than what those people just came up with.
And it was just like on the fly. Like I've seen improv that has been so epically good, and then I've seen improv that's been so epically bad.
Absolutely.
But I like them both. Like it's just like the effort. Like because I'm a performer and artist, I'm just like I just love that like everyone is trying and like it's committed.
Which reminds me, that's why I like sketch. I would say the most because to me, and I tell stand-up comedians to do sketch. Because I think these days in Montreal, it's a lot of improvisers who do sketch comedy. It's the scene is smaller than I think it used to be. The Montreal sketch scene. And
we have a sketch fest here.
And it's great. I like that sketch fest a lot. But to me, sketch can be anything. Like stand-up has to be pretty specific. And I find when you try too much, stand-up audiences kind of shy away. They sort of want the stand-up that they've seen before. And improv, there's literally rules, and you have to do the heralds, and you have to heighten after this beat and whatever. Whereas sketch is just anything that isn't those two things can be sketch. And Chris and I, for example, we've done much more sort of presentational, as if we're doing like, like a, what do you call it? Where you computer has the PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, yes.
I'm so sorry.
Computer? You were like pointing to the wall and then your computer?
I was going beep, beep, like the next slide. Like, and then there's been more sort of solos, like weird character stuff or weird, straight up like an SNL sketch where it could be anything. And I think stand-up comedians should really take advantage of being funny in a slightly different context, which is sketch. You should do it. You should get people together, do sketch. It's so fun.
I did my first sketch like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was at Polymike. Raquel was doing a fundraiser for her friend's show.
Of
And
course.
she's like, who wants to do, I want this show to be dynamic. Who wants to do a sketch? And I will do anything for Raquel. So I was like, sure, sign me up. And it's like, I was really lucky because I got paired with someone that has done many sketches before and I've just never. And it was a lot more fun. And again, like I really like collaborating as well. I always have. Like I love pitching jokes to people. I love getting feedback. I've recently I've taken a script writing class with Concordia, and there's a lot of pitching and getting feedback and like going like collaborating, and I love that process so much because you get you get feedback. One, like as comedians, you go on stage, you get feedback, but like I just love it. I just love that process a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think it's a one-to-one, but I was going to say it's a little like cooking where it's like there's something to be said for just one steak or eating a carrot, but it's just all these flavors together make it so much better and richer. And, I definitely think that.
I was like the sketch that I did, I feel like I'm not an actor, so that's another level that you like. Yeah, you can write a sketch and you can like bounce it back and forth, collaborate, but I'm just once you're on stage, you're like, like like, how do I emote this? Did I emote this properly?
And
but
I don't know about you. For stand-ups, I think having one hand not holding a microphone is like, well, now what does this hand do?
Like, what do I do with my hands?
I remember Chris and I literally, I'm sorry to keep talking about Chris and I, but that's a lot of my sketch stuff, is like scenes where suddenly I'm holding a baby. Yeah. Just because it's like, well, that's something I could do, not just stand there and going... Yeah. Or like we're playing the drums and go, huh? Yeah. It's like just I need something to do.
Some sort of prop.
Oh my god.
Even just like holding a hat for no reason. Just like at least there's something in my hands.
Because I'm smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that so much. Let's go talk about your radio show. That's the other thing that you do.
Yes,
we
please.
touched on it several times. Advice by the Fireplace. I feel like I know what inspired the show, but tell people what inspired the show.
Well, the big woman in my heart, Delilah, who's had a beautiful. I'm gonna cut that out and use it.
Absolutely, I'll do it again. I'll come.
That would be great.
Delilah. I will literally come to your recording every day, every Wednesday when you record it. Is it Wednesday still?
Wednesdays, absolutely.
I will come every time and do it in the microphone.
Would be incredible.
In your crappy microphones that you like.
I'll give you the good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely, I wanted some sort of show, podcast or something. And then I knew someone who had a show at CJLO, more of a interview, sort of interviewing comedian show. And he actually sent out a thing to his guests. He had, 30 guests. And hey, if anyone wants to replace me in this time slot. And then I just applied, and then it was. I'll tell you what was definitely inspiring me, which was I'm a big podcast listener.
Me too.
And there's a few that I would put on, on my way to work in the morning or something, first thing in the morning. And everyone was just yelling and hyped up and talking over each other and fucking yelling and go. And it would stress me out, and I would. Get upset. And I go,
there's just
Christ.
High energy.
Too high energy.
I mean, to be fair for them, they don't know what time of day you're listening
exactly.
to.
I don't. And these are podcasts I like.
Yeah.
For example, How Did This Get Made? Do you know how? I love How Did This Get Made.
Love that, but
and then every so often I go, just stop, Jason. Stop yelling.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only tone he knows. He doesn't know what. I was like, that's how he's supposed.
So I definitely consciously was like, I want like a nice, quiet show. Where it's a little calmer. You can listen first thing in the morning. A few people have said it's like ASMR-y, which was not intentional. And
I mean, you have you take on the character of Delilah.
Yeah.
And there is a certain tone to your voice. It's like a very soft spoken radio host. And it's very soothing.
I think that is
And then hilarious.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried that it's so easy for me to. People are like, "Oh, you're playing a weird character," and it's like, I think I'm just who I am actually. Like
you are Dan Lila.
There's some episodes where, for a while, because of COVID and stuff, I could come in the studio, but I couldn't have guests, so I would just do calls. And then I wouldn't want to be on the phone for an hour because I'm not good on the phone. So I would try to do a nice little intro, or not little, try to talk for 15 minutes up top just by myself. And it was like, oh, this is so easy. And I could do this forever. It's just, I don't know if it's entertaining, but.
That's a good skill because like talking to no one is like, can be intimidating. I could do that. I could do that all long. It's maybe not the
I know.
something to brag about.
And the other thing I find fascinating about the radio, and I'm sure I've said this to a few people, is how time is so different where
it goes
we're on
fast.
stand-up. Well, that's also true. But stand-up, it's like you have 5 minutes, and then you can get off at 4:38 and it's fine. You get off at 5:18 and it's fine. And then radio, it's like if I don't talk for exactly 5 minutes, there's going to be dead silence on live radio, and like every second kind of matters, and that has made me. I don't know what it's done, but it's made me more conscious of time, and maybe I'm better at parsing out. I think I don't know. I don't know what the skill is necessarily, but.
Just filling time in, or like just being more precise, I guess.
Yes,
yeah,
I think
just
precision,
mindful of like the seconds that are like
trying to make it sound good. Where this person's plugging something, and I have 20 seconds, and usually I could panic, and I go, no, all I need is 6 to say that thing and transition to the ad, and it's very because I'm producing myself. I do all this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a hard show. Everything is happening, and you are live. So like swearing is a thing. You like, what if you have a guest that I don't want to put like anxiety in your brain, but like obviously you've thought of all of this. What if you have a guest that is just like not engaged? You're like filling in. You're working real hard with that guest.
That's true. That's happened once or twice. Not to name names. It also helps that I try to have 2 guests on every time, which is really good, and ideally guests that know and like each other
for sure.
So that's definitely, but every so often, I'll be honest, when people are not giving me much, I think, well, now it's my time to go crazy.
Your time to shine,
now I can say whatever
baby.
I want. Yeah, that happened a few times.
I like that. I do like feel that pressure sometimes with podcasting, but then I just try to breathe through it. I'm not live though, so like if I was live, oh my God. But it's fine if they're not that engaged. It's like, well, that's okay. We can cut a little bit shorter.
Yes, and like you were saying earlier,
last time
we talked about this, the fact that it's every week does help in terms of sometimes I'll go, well, that wasn't maybe a classic episode, but hey, there was one last week, there's one next week. It's like we keep going.
Absolutely,
And now I'm on what? I think today I am recording episode 112.
That's amazing.
Which is so much.
That's so cool.
It's fun to, sometimes I scroll and I go through all that and I go, wow, I'm scrolling for so long.
You know what? This is going to be, you're going to be maybe surprised by this comment, but I submitted advice, like my episode of Advice by the Fireplace, as one of like my references to like, because I got a grant initially for this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so like season 1 was funded by the Quebec government, and Advice by the Fireplace was one of my references.
Whoa,
like,
cool.
Among like some of my writing, some of my stand-up sets, and then like some like one of my podcasts was Advice by the Fireplace. I did an episode with. The first episode, I did 2, I think. The first one was with Elspeth, and we're like in your studio. This is before the Pandy.
This is, yes.
And
I know. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. And it was super, super fun. I think like one of like, I mean, you like your listeners write in with so many questions, so I don't like expect you to remember. But one of the questions I remember, and I can't believe I remember, was that this person's work was planning a camping trip for the entire staff, and the person didn't want to go. And my initial reaction was just like, quit.
Yeah.
Just absolutely quit. And I listened back on it. I was like, that was a funny response. That was like unhinged, funny. Like, quit your 9-to-5 job, quit your secure fucking income. Like,
I tell people answer them as seriously or absurdly as you want.
Yeah.
And I definitely have some people whose go-to is murder. And I go, well, that sounds like you should just murder that person. I go, well, that's true. And then I get a lot of people saying you should just talk to the person you're writing about.
Yeah.
And that's the answer to every question, but
yes.
Makes the no show.
Is that what
yeah. That is kind of, I should start by saying, well, instead of writing into a random show, maybe discuss this with the person you have an issue with. But,
I know, but that's less fun. That's less
Exactly,
funny. Like, yes,
exactly.
you can like turn around and just like, ultimately, this is all fun and games, but you should, but yeah, that's less fun. Just like, oh, a real answer? I don't want a real answer.
And some people go deep and give real answers and tie it to their lives, and I like that too.
I like that too.
I've had a few people, I'm proud of. Okay, now I'm just going to brag. But,
no, do it.
I've heard one or two people say, like, well, what's the tone? I don't want to get the...
Yeah.
And I say, you know what? The tone is whatever the three of us figure out in this room.
Absolutely.
I think some episodes are more chaotic and some are more... I like that it's different. Again, collaboration.
Exactly.
It's whatever the three of us
That's what's magical about
do.
it. You never know. You never know what the listeners are going to ask or
That's
your
true.
writers are going to ask.
That's true.
And then you never know how we,
These
comedians or your
maniacs
guests, are going to respond. That's why it's so brilliant. And I also want to take a moment. We do have to wrap up in a few minutes.
Sure.
To shout out to Delilah for inspiring this all.
Oh my God. Love her.
Is she still on the air? She must be 76 years old.
I think she is. She's definitely in syndication, like everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
And also, not to get too serious, she's had a tough life.
Yeah.
She's had some bad things happen to her, and she's still out there.
She's shared them all on the radio.
No, I genuinely...
Divorce, heartbreak, loss.
Loss, I was going to say, boy.
Health problems. A lot.
Yeah. But we love her. I think she... I genuinely did listen to her, I think probably... Like, it made me sad. I would be 11 in the bath listening to this soft rock show. In retrospect, it's insane. But
I did too.
Life.
It was. I have memory of her from really, really young, just like driving home, like in the back seat of my parents' like station wagon when that Q92.9 was on, and soft rock, Delilah talking. We're driving home from like a trip or like a dinner that went late with people. And I'm just in the back, just like almost dozing off and just listening to Delilah. And then I, for a while, was living out like outside the city, but it was commuting from Montreal back and forth. And it was late nights sometimes, and I would turn it on and Delilah was there. And I, as an adult, with a comedic brain, was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely.
But as a kid, like, you don't know. And it was just like, and then like, I guess like boomer women would just eat it up. And like, I don't...
I know. I don't know why I like it so much. Yeah. I remember listening to one pretty early on of, not to say for inspiration, but like episode 3, I was like, I better listen to... Also, do you remember the show Lovers and Other Strangers?
No.
With the soft man's voice? He was pretty good. I've
was
stolen
it
from
like
him
the
a little
same
bit.
radio station, or was it just...
I think that was...
Okay.
I actually don't know
okay. No, I've never heard
who these
of it.
people are. Look it up. He's wild. He's a bit more... he's like monologuing, kind of talking about kindness and memories, and whereas Delilah's more like...
Okay. Should I start a radio show in the theme of him, and then you have Delilah? And then, so
I forget the guy's name.
Like, it's just one right after the other. It's like Delilah, and incredible. Then
What a beautiful, calming 2 hours of radio that would be. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I just I do think I wish more people called in. It's hard. That was a big part of Delilah. People calling in.
Yeah.
And I have letters, which is great. And then I've shared nobody calls in, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to fake it. Maybe get a comedian to pretend they're
I will do it
person.
any day.
Ooh, thank you.
I'll do it
hold you to that.
any day.
Oh, that's amazing. And can I plug this?
Yes.
I'm doing I was going to say very second. Is that a thing that people say? Very first, but it's the second. Live Advice by the Fireplace.
Yes, at NDQ. I saw that.
The week after your hour. We're taking over NDQ.
No, it's fine. But
I'm very excited for that.
I'm going to come to that.
Oh, that would be great.
I love live recordings of podcast radio shows or whatever. They are so fun. If I could do this live every time, beautiful. You'll get, and I know you'll get an audience there because at least a lot of us comedians, because we love the show. So. And it'll just be it'd be so fun.
I appreciate that. The plan is to make it a little bit more, again, sketchy, a little less like the radio show, a bit more bit heavy. Yeah. I'm already planning a few little weird bits. I'm very inspired. Do you know Comedy Bang Bang? My hero, Scott Aukerman.
Oh my God, such a good show.
I love Scott Aukerman so much. I'd love to shake his hand. I've listened to him talk more than my parents, I think, in my life. I've driven to Toronto
to see that show, Comedy Bang Bang.
I was
with Paul F. Tompkins.
These are my heroes. But those live Comedy Bang Bangs, I'm also just trying to steal from, make it a little bit more of a, I don't know, chaotic sort of mix of not just the radio show live, do a tiny bit different. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah, June 12th.
Oh my God.
I'm very excited. Awesome. Very excited to do that.
I'm so excited for you.
And I hope there's more.
Have them again. Like, I hope it goes well. Have another one.
It's hard to find venues in this city.
It's true. The NDQ is being and the Poly Mike and all of that gang is being very, very kind to us.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's hard to find venues nowadays. It's that's a whole other topic, but I'm glad you're doing it. That's so great.
Thank you very much, Abby. Cool. That's very kind.
So we do have to wrap up because it's been over an hour, and also I have to move my car at 12:30.
Fair. I was going to demand we power through, but okay, fine. You don't have to get a ticket.
But I always end the podcast with a few questions. You can choose to answer one. You can choose to answer all. Do what feels right. And the two questions are, what is the hardest thing you've ever been through, and what are you most passionate about? And I feel like you've answered one of those. But you can elaborate on whichever one, or you can just move past it. Both of them.
Which one do you think I already answered?
I think the passionate. You're most passionate about. But you can also, what's another thing you're passionate about other than comedy? That's another twist on the question.
That's a great question. Look, I'm going to get too serious here, but those are serious questions.
Yeah. I always, it's been a trend since the beginning asking these questions, and people love them. And then some people just flying by those ones. Have a good night.
My answer I feel like, again, this might be a strange thing to say. I'm trying to be a full person. And
that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do.
And I feel like for a while I was, I would let a lot of things fall by the wayside in terms, even very practical things, getting my taxes done, this permit, paying this. Yeah. Also, just living, it made me, I consciously tried to become a better cook in the last few years because I need to be able to do that. Yeah. Along with artistic things, and which are not money making at all. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how rude. Oh. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm focused on just trying to, I feel like I'm passionate about trying to, that's the only way I could put it. Be a full person. Be like, not just be like, I'm a comedian and I'm a dirtbag all day.
That's such a great answer. And it's actually like in line with both of the questions. Like, it's the hardest thing you can do is like try to be a productive, I guess, like, quote unquote, successful adult put together. And then like it's also something you should be passionate about because it ultimately makes you more content.
Absolutely. Being there for other people, being dependable. I feel like, when I started doing comedy, very anxious, I wouldn't show up to a few things and now it's like, I'm trying to be incredibly responsible for me, which is just normal. But to me, that's incredibly responsible.
But it's hard. It's hard showing up. Like, I didn't want to show up today. You know what I mean?
I know.
No. I wanted to be here.
Or like, but I'm trying to be a full person. I think I'm on step 2 of 100.
Okay.
But I'm getting there.
You're getting there. I feel like it's a life journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to like get it right
it's
at
not
any
like,
point.
you know what? Continue. Tomorrow we're fixing it. It's done. We're over. Like we fixed it. It's a constant adjustment and balance because other things happen in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good answer.
I think so.
You're a wonderful guest, Dan.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you for being here. Please come back on my show.
Yes, please invite me.
Right. I have to do that. Yes, definitely.
I will come anytime and record the Dan Lila and even call in as a stranger and ask funny questions.
I might force you to do that. That's very kind.
I honestly
Thank
will.
you.
I'll put on some fucking character. I'll turn it like I'll be like, I don't know, maybe I'll just embody my mother and have like a weird neurotic just nurturing / anxious energy. Ooh. And ask like, why isn't my daughter calling me more? I haven't done anything wrong. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. We're getting to this at the end of the episode. We have so much more to dive into. But that's great.
But we can do it. Absolutely. Okay, so we have to wrap up. Thank you again for being here. Before we end, where can people find you online?
Oh, I think I'm just at Daniel Carin on Instagram and all these things. Listen to Advice by the Fireplace Wednesdays at 5 to 6 p.m. on CJLO or 6090 or, of course, Spotify and all that. Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. Write in advicebythefireplace@gmail.com.
Yes.
I need letters.
I love it.
And that's it. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. You know where to find me, housestonepodcast.com for all the links. Like and subscribe. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you, ManyVids, for this beautiful studio. Yes, touch the soft wall. Wow. And thank you again. And thank you again. And bye.